Welcome back, Rare Coin Insider. Have you ever looked at the loose change sitting in your pocket, your car's cup holder, or an old coin jar and wondered if one tiny coin could be worth far more than just 10 cents? Millions of Americans spend dimes every single day without giving them a second thought. Yet coin collectors know that sometimes the smallest details can make an ordinary-looking coin surprisingly valuable. Today, we're taking a close look at the 2018 P. Roosevelt dime, a modern United States coin that has attracted interest from collectors because of its quality, potential mint errors, and the possibility of finding exceptional examples that are worth much more than face value. At first glance, every 2018 P dime appears nearly identical. It is small, silver in color, and easy to overlook. Most people receive one and change, spend it again within minutes, and never think about it. But experienced collectors inspect every coin carefully because they understand that condition, striking quality, and rare minting mistakes can completely change a coin's value. The 2018 P. Roosevelt dime was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Unlike older Philadelphia coins that often carried no mint mark, this coin proudly displays the P mint mark, identifying where it was struck. This tiny letter is located on the obverse, or front, of the coin near President Franklin D. Roosevelt's portrait. While every normal 2018 Philadelphia dime bears this mint mark, collectors always examine it carefully because unusual striking characteristics can sometimes indicate a valuable mint error. The coin weighs approximately 2.268 grams, a specification that has remained consistent for modern Roosevelt dimes for many years. Its diameter measures 17.91 millimeters, making it one of the smallest circulating coins in the United States. The edge features 118 reeds, the narrow grooves that help distinguish the dime from other coins by touch. These specifications might sound ordinary, but they are important because any significant deviation in weight, size, or metal composition can indicate an unusual minting error that collectors eagerly search for. Unlike silver Roosevelt dimes produced before 1965, the 2018 P dime is made from a copper core covered by outer layers of cupronickel. This gives the coin its familiar silver-colored appearance, while keeping production costs relatively low. Because of this clad construction, normal circulation coins are worth face value, but extraordinary examples in pristine condition or with rare errors can command premiums among collectors. The design of the Roosevelt dime has a rich history. The obverse features President Franklin D. Roosevelt, whose leadership during challenging times and support for organizations fighting polio made him an ideal choice for the dime after his passing. Sculptor John R. Sinek created the original Roosevelt portrait, and although modern versions have received slight refinements over the decades, the overall appearance remains instantly recognizable to collectors around the world. On the reverse, a torch stands proudly in the center, symbolizing liberty. An olive branch appears on one side representing peace, while an oak branch on the other symbolizes strength and independence. Together, these elements create one of the most recognizable reverse designs in American coinage, reflecting values that have been associated with the United States for generations. While millions of 2018 P dimes were produced, not every coin left the mint in identical condition. During the striking process, tiny imperfections can occur. A coin may receive an off-center strike, experience a die crack, show a retained cud, develop a clipped planchet, or display doubling in certain design elements. These mint errors are uncommon, and when authenticated, they can significantly increase a coin's value. Collectors spend countless hours searching through bank rolls because they know valuable discoveries are still possible. Every unopened roll represents an opportunity. Although the overwhelming majority of coins are ordinary, it only takes one unusual example to transform an inexpensive search into an exciting find. Condition is another critical factor. Professional grading companies evaluate coins using the Sheldon grading scale from poor 1 to mint state 70. A coin that has never circulated and retains its original mint luster generally commands a much higher premium than one showing years of wear. Perfect or nearly perfect modern coins are surprisingly difficult to find because even small contact marks received during transportation can lower a grade. For that reason, collectors often purchase original mint rolls hoping to locate exceptional examples before they enter circulation. Coins that receive top grades from respected grading services can sometimes sell for substantially more than ordinary circulated examples, because collectors assembling registry sets compete for the finest known specimens. The excitement surrounding modern coins comes from the possibility that something unusual may still be hiding in plain sight. Every cash transaction, every handful of change from a store, and every forgotten coin jar has the potential to contain a collectible piece that someone else overlooked. That possibility keeps the hobby alive and inspires collectors to continue searching year after year. The story of the Roosevelt dime did not begin in 2018. It stretches back decades and reflects an important chapter in American history. After the passing of President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1945, the United States sought a meaningful way to honor a leader who had guided the nation through the Great Depression and most of the Second World War. Roosevelt was also closely connected with the fight against polio, inspiring the organization that became known as the March of Dimes. Because of that connection, the dime was selected as the denomination that would carry his portrait beginning in 1946, and that design has remained in circulation ever since. Every 2018 P dime represents another chapter in that long tradition. Although it is a modern coin produced with advanced manufacturing equipment, it still carries the same familiar portrait and reverse design that collectors have recognized for generations. This continuity is one of the reasons many collectors enjoy building complete Roosevelt dime collections, spanning from the earliest silver issues to today's clad coins. Inside the Philadelphia Mint, the journey of every dime begins long before the coin receives its design. Large coils of clad metal are delivered to the mint and carefully inspected. Powerful machines punch perfectly round blanks from these sheets with incredible precision. Each blank is then cleaned, polished, and processed before it becomes a planchet ready for striking. During this stage, quality control is extremely important because even a tiny flaw in the metal can later appear on the finished coin. The prepared planchets move through specialized equipment where their edges are formed correctly before entering high-speed coining presses. These presses strike each planchet with tremendous pressure, forcing the metal into every detail engraved on the dies. In only a fraction of a second, a plain piece of metal transforms into a fully detailed Roosevelt dime carrying the portrait of the president on one side and the torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the other. Modern presses are capable of striking hundreds of coins every minute. Because production moves so quickly, occasional mistakes are inevitable. Most effective coins are caught during inspection and melted for recycling, but every so often an unusual piece escapes into circulation. Those escaped errors become the treasures that collectors hope to discover. One of the most desirable errors is an off-center strike. This occurs when the planchet is not perfectly aligned with the dies before being struck. Depending on how far off-center the strike occurs, the coin may display a dramatic blank area while still showing enough of the design to identify the date and mint mark. Significant off-center errors often attract strong collector interest. Another fascinating possibility is a broad strike. In this situation, the retaining collar that normally keeps the coin at its proper diameter fails to function correctly. The coin spreads outward during striking, becoming wider than normal while lacking its standard reeded edge. Broad strikes are visually impressive and are often collected because they clearly demonstrate how the minting process can occasionally go wrong. Collectors also search for die cracks. As dies wear through millions of strikes, tiny fractures may develop on their surfaces. These cracks transfer raised lines onto every coin struck afterward. Small die cracks are relatively common, while dramatic examples extending across major design elements tend to receive much greater attention from collectors. Another error known throughout the hobby is the retained cud. This happens when part of the die breaks, but remains attached during striking. The resulting coins display unusual raised areas where the broken section affected the design. These errors are considerably scarcer than ordinary die cracks, and are carefully documented by specialists. Die chips are another feature that collectors inspect closely. Small fragments may break away from letters, numbers, or other portions of the die. This creates raised blobs of metal on the finished coin. Although many die chips add only modest value, unusual or highly visible examples often become recognized varieties that specialists actively seek. Double strikes represent another exciting possibility. A coin may receive two separate impressions if it fails to eject correctly after the first strike. Depending on how much the coin shifts between strikes, the second impression can create dramatic overlapping images that immediately catch the attention of collectors. Genuine double-struck coins are much scarcer than ordinary circulation pieces. Misaligned dies can also create unusual appearances. When one die shifts out of proper position while the other remains correctly aligned, the finished coin may display an uneven border on one side while appearing normal on the opposite side. These subtle differences often require careful examination with magnification. Clipped planchets are especially interesting because the error occurs before striking even begins. If the metal strip feeding the blanking press overlaps improperly, the machine punches an incomplete blank. When struck, the finished coin contains a curved or irregular missing section while still displaying the remainder of the design. Authentic clipped planchets show distinctive characteristics that experts use to verify they were created during the minting process rather than being damaged afterward. Collectors frequently carry magnifying glasses or digital microscopes because some valuable features are almost impossible to identify with the naked eye. Tiny doubled letters, unusual die polish lines, misplaced mint marks caused by damage after striking, or microscopic die deterioration can all become subjects of detailed study. One of the most important lessons in coin collecting is learning the difference between a true mint error and ordinary damage. Coins spend years moving through pockets, vending machines, banks, cash registers, and counting machines. Scratches, dents, corrosion, environmental damage, and post-mint alterations are common. These forms of damage rarely increase value, and often reduce it significantly. Experienced collectors always distinguish between genuine mint-made errors and damage that occurred after the coin entered circulation. Another factor influencing value is original mint luster. Freshly struck coins display a distinctive cartwheel effect when rotated under a light source. This shimmering appearance results from microscopic flow lines created during striking. Once a coin begins circulating, these delicate surfaces gradually wear away. Collectors pay close attention to luster because it plays a major role in determining a coin's grade. Professional grading services examine coins under controlled lighting using standardized procedures. Every tiny mark, contact abrasion, strike quality, and surface characteristic influences the final grade. For modern coins, like the 2018 P dime, the difference between mint state 67 and mint state 68 can sometimes represent a significant increase in collector demand, while the finest known examples may command even stronger premiums if population reports indicate exceptional scarcity in top grades. Many collectors enjoy searching through unopened bank rolls because they hope to find coins that have never entered circulation. Roll searching remains one of the most affordable ways to build a collection while maintaining the excitement of making unexpected discoveries. Although most rolls contain ordinary circulation strikes, dedicated collectors understand that patience often rewards persistence. The internet has transformed the hobby by allowing collectors around the world to compare discoveries instantly. High-resolution photographs, grading databases, auction archives, and educational resources help enthusiasts identify unusual varieties with far greater confidence than previous generations could imagine. Yet despite all this technology, one thing remains unchanged: the thrill of spotting something unusual on a coin that millions of other people may have overlooked. That excitement is exactly what keeps collectors examining every Roosevelt dime that passes through their hands, because while most are worth only 10 cents, a small number with genuine mint errors, exceptional preservation, or certified top grades can become highly desirable additions to advanced collections. As our journey through the 2018 P. Roosevelt dime comes to an end, one important truth becomes clear. The real excitement of coin collecting is not about believing that every coin is worth a fortune. It is about understanding that every coin has a story, and occasionally, one of those stories turns into an incredible discovery. Think about how many hands a single dime passes through during its lifetime. It may begin its journey at the Philadelphia Mint before traveling to a Federal Reserve facility. From there it enters banks, businesses, restaurants, grocery stores, gas stations, vending machines, and countless pockets and wallets. During the journey, most people never stop to examine it. To them, it is simply 10 cents. But to a collector, every coin deserves a closer look because small details can make an enormous difference. The 2018 P. Roosevelt dime represents modern American coinage at its finest. It weighs approximately 2.268 grams, measures 17.91 millimeters in diameter, features a reeded edge, and carries the familiar portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse with the classic torch, olive branch, and oak branch design on the reverse. Millions were struck, making it a common circulation coin, yet that does not mean every example is identical. Throughout the minting process, even the most advanced machinery can occasionally produce unusual results. A tiny die crack, an off-center strike, a clipped planchet, a broad strike, or another genuine mint error can transform an otherwise ordinary coin into something collectors find fascinating. While such errors are uncommon, they remind us that perfection is never guaranteed in mass production. Condition remains one of the biggest factors affecting a coin's value. Two dimes struck on the same day may have dramatically different values years later simply because one remained untouched, while the other spent years in circulation. A coin preserving its original mint luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks has a much better chance of receiving a high professional grade, and certified top-grade examples can command meaningful premiums over circulated pieces. One of the greatest lessons experienced collectors share with beginners is the importance of patience. Valuable discoveries rarely happen overnight. Some collectors search thousands of coins before finding an exciting error. Others spend years assembling complete Roosevelt dime collections one coin at a time. The enjoyment comes from the search itself as much as the discoveries. Knowledge is another collector's greatest asset. Learning how coins are produced, understanding grading standards, recognizing genuine mint errors, and studying auction records all help collectors make informed decisions. The more you learn, the more confident you become when examining the coins in your own collection. It is also important to approach sensational stories with caution. Social media often features dramatic claims that ordinary modern coins are worth millions of dollars. In reality, such claims are usually unsupported. The true value of a coin depends on factors such as rarity, condition, authentication, collector demand, and verified sales history. If you believe you have found an unusual coin, the best next step is to compare it with reputable references or have it evaluated by a respected professional grading service. Even if your 2018p dime is not rare, it can still serve as the beginning of a rewarding hobby. Many lifelong collectors started with nothing more than pocket change and curiosity. Over time, that curiosity grew into an appreciation for history, craftsmanship, economics, and the stories hidden within everyday coins. Imagine opening an old jar of change that has been sitting untouched for years. Most people see spare change, but a collector sees opportunity. Every coin is examined carefully under good lighting. The date is checked. The mint mark is identified. The edges are inspected. The surfaces are studied for unusual characteristics. That careful attention is what has led to many genuine discoveries over the years. Perhaps the greatest reward of coin collecting is that it connects generations. Grandparents share collections with grandchildren. Parents teach children how to recognize mint marks and different designs. Families search coin rolls together, turning ordinary evenings into memorable experiences. A simple 10-cent coin can become a doorway into American history and a hobby enjoyed around the world. The 2018p Roosevelt dime may seem small, but it represents decades of tradition, remarkable engineering, and the possibility, however small, of finding something truly special. Whether your coin is worth only its face value or a premium because of a rare error or exceptional condition, taking the time to examine it teaches valuable lessons about observation, patience, and history. So before you spend your next handful of change, pause for a moment and look a little closer. That dime you almost overlooked could teach you something new about coin collecting, minting, or American history. While most 2018p dimes are ordinary circulation coins, every collector knows that remarkable discoveries begin with a simple decision to pay attention. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed exploring the fascinating world of coin collecting, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss future videos covering rare coins, valuable mint errors, historical discoveries, grading tips, and the stories behind America's most collectible coins. Share this video with fellow collectors and let us know in the comments whether you've ever found an interesting coin in your pocket change. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and remember that every coin has a story waiting to be discovered. Happy collecting, and we'll see you in the next video.